Okay. So if you look at the question that we have here, we have been able to look at question number 2 in our last class, and that's under binary operation, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if that should be the case now, we are going to continue to question number 3, and the question states that simplify 3 over 4 of 7 over 9 divided by 9 whole number 1 over 2. So when you look at this particular question, this question is like a general arithmetic. Are you getting it now? Like general simplification that every individual is supposed to know as a mathematics student, like basic operation and arithmetic process. So how do we go about it? Now, when it comes to basic operation and arithmetic processes, it's like we want to go back to the entirety of our primary school. Okay, so I believe that we are ready to go into that. So it might appear something like something that's simple that we know, but as a matter of fact, we must have forgot a lot of things about it. So I'm going to start by calling it algebraic process. Now, when you talk about algebraic process, what's the first thing that I would like you to know as far as JAMB is concerned is what we call operation on numbers. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes.
Now, when you say operation on numbers, the first thing that we want to look at here is what we call square of number. When I say square of number, what exactly are they implying? They are talking about a number multiplied by itself 2 times. Square of a number means a number multiplied by itself twice. For example, if I say square of 3, if I say square of 3, what does this mean? This means 3 raised to power 2.
Nine.
And 3 raised to power 2 means 3 times 3, and that will give us 6. If I say
Six,
of
three, nine.
square of 4, what square of 4 means is that 4 raised to power 2, and that will give us 4 times 4 equal what? 16. So what if they say cube of a number? Cube of a number. So cube of a number. Cube of a number means a number multiplied by itself 3 times. A number multiplied by itself 3 times. E.g., cube of 3. If I say find the cube of 3, it means 3 raised to power 2. Sorry, 3 raised to power 3. And that means 3 times 3 times 3. And that will give us 27. Likewise, if I say cube of 4, cube of 4 means 4 raised to power 3, and that will be 4 times 4 times 4, and that will give us 64. Now, the next one, which is the third one, under operation of numbers, is the word square root. When somebody says square root, what does it mean? A number which, when multiplied by itself 2 times, gives a particular number. What is a square root? Square root means what? A number which, when multiplied by itself 2 times, gives a particular number. For example, if I say square root, if I say square root of 9, so square root of 9 means you write it like this. So square root of 9 is written like this, and that is equal to what? 3. Why is it equal to 3? It is equal to 3 because if 3 multiply itself 2 times, the result is going to be 9. Are you guys getting this now? Are we getting this?
Yes, sir.
Likewise, if I say square root of 16, square root of 16 is written as the square root of 16 equal 4. This is because if 4 multiply itself twice, your result is going to be 16. Alright? Now, the crazy things about basic mathematics is that it appears boring. It appears like this thing is simple. But if you don't understand it very well, it's going to give you problem than the complex aspect of mathematics. So please pay maximum attention and don't assume that you know them before. Because you know them before, you have been doing it, it has become part of you. You already forget about their definitions. And that's why JAMB, as simple as it might be, when they tweak the definition for you, it looks as if they are asking you for what you don't know. So, for that reason, don't let us see it as a cheap topic. Let's take it serious. Now, the next one is cube root. Cube root simply means a number which, when multiplied by itself 3 places, gives a particular number. For example, if I say the cube root of 27, cube root of 27 is written as, you put the 3 inside this place, then you have 27. There is even between when you write it like this, cube root of 27, and when you write it like this. They are not the same thing. The 3 has to be inside this symbol, just the way it is now, not outside. This one means 3 times the square root of 27, while this one means the cube root of 27. As simple as it might be, it's a problem if you are a WAEC student. So you should know how to write it better. So cube root of 27 simply is equals to what? 3. Why is it equal to 3? Because if 3 should multiply itself 3 times, your result is going to be 27. Okay? So if that should be the case, let's move to the next one, which is going to be the 5th one. Okay? So the next one is the word reciprocal. The 5th one is the word reciprocal. What do you mean by the word reciprocals? When I say reciprocal, you are talking about the inverse of numbers or numbers obtained when the given ones are turned upside down. Reciprocal means inverse of numbers or numbers obtained when the given ones are turned upside down. For example, if I have 2, the reciprocal of 2, or before I even talk about its reciprocal, if I have 2 like this, 2 is the same thing as saying 2 all over 1. So if somebody now say, what is the reciprocal? What's the reciprocal of 2? The reciprocal of 2 will now become 1 all over 2. Since 2 is the same thing as 2 over 1, so when you turn it upside down, you have 1 over 2, and that becomes the reciprocal of 2. Okay, what about reciprocal of 2 over 5? So reciprocal of 2 over 5 will become 5 all over 2. I hope this aspect is cleared. For a quick recap, under operations on numbers, we have 5 things. Number 1, we have the square of a number, which means a number multiplied by itself 2 times. E.g., square of 3 is the same thing as saying 3 squared, that is 3 raised to power of 2, and that means 3 times 3, which gives us 9. Cube of a number multiplied by itself 3 times, e.g. cube of 3 means 3 raised to power 3, and that is 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. Square root means a number which when multiplied by itself 2 times gives a particular number, e.g. square root of 9. Square root of 9 gives us 3 because 3 is that number that when it multiplies itself twice, the result is going to be 9. Then we have cube root. Cube root is a number which when multiplied by itself 3 places gives what? A particular number, e.g. cube root of 27. The result is 3. Why? Because 3 is the number that will multiply itself 3 times, that the result is going to give us 27. And we have reciprocal. Reciprocal simply means the inverse of numbers or numbers obtained when the given ones are turned upside down. E.g., 2 can be written as 2 over 1. So when they ask you for the reciprocal of 2, that will be 1 over 2. So having learned that, another thing for you to know under this particular topic, algebraic operation or algebraic process rather, is the sum and difference between numbers. And this is very important as it's going to help you to answer a lot of questions when we get in deep mathematics. Okay, so let's get started. So the second phase is going to be sum and difference, sum and difference, or between numbers. Sum and difference between numbers. So when we talk about sum and difference between numbers, if a number, let's say A, is greater, if a number A is greater than another number, if a number A is greater than another number B by C, then if you have that A minus B, your result is going to become C. Are you getting it now? If you have a number A, I'm not saying the number is A. If it is greater than B by C, then if you say A minus B, your result is going to be C. Do you understand that now? So that is what happens when you take difference of numbers. Let's take for instance, if I have 5 and 2. 5 is greater than 2 by how many? By 3. So if I say 5 minus 2, my result is going to become 3. Do we understand that now? So that's what we mean by sum and difference of number. So if it is sum of the number, it means when you add those two numbers together, what number will they become? So 5 plus 2, when you add it together, they will become what? A greater number, which shows the sum of their two, and that will become 7. Am I making sense now? Alright, so if that should be the case, the third one, that is the third case under algebraic process, is what we call algebraic expression with different signs. How do you handle it? Algebraic expression with different signs. So when you have algebraic expression with different signs, what we mean is that mathematical expressions, they are commonly combined with addition. When we say addition, we are talking about the plus sign. Subtraction, we talk about the negative sign. Then multiplication, we talk about the times. Division and division, that is this sign. Okay, in case where the signs are mixed, that is Normally, when you want to combine operations together, let's take for instance, I have 5 and I have 2. If I want to combine them together, I can either say 5 plus 2, or I say 5 minus 2, or I say 5 times 2, or I say 5 divided by 2. So if this is it now, in case, all these symbols or signs, they are applied to this separately. But in a case whereby they are mixed together, in one question, you have them use addition, you have them using multiplication, you have them using division, you have them using what? Subtraction. How do you go about it? So, what you just need to do is to do what? Is to look into what? The mixed question. Are you getting this now? And then you can simplify it by using what we call board mass. Are you getting this now? Where you have brackets in order, this O, we call it off, but it's supposed to be order. Order in the sense that if you have exponential there, or you have a logarithm there, or you have a trigonometry there, so get the actual value of those things. That is what order means. Off is still the same thing as multiplication, so this can be off. It's going to be order. So B means bracket, O means order. So order can be exponential, it can be logarithmic, it can be trigonometry, and so on. Then you have division. Then you have multiplication. Can either be written as multiplication or they write it as off. Then you have A, which is addition, then subtraction. So this is the order in which you should carry out the operation. You tackle the bracket first. When you're able to tackle the bracket, you tackle what? With orders. When you're able to tackle with orders, you tackle with division. When you're able to tackle with division, then you tackle with multiplication. Then multiplication, then you tackle with what? Addition, and then subtraction. Now, in a case, let me quickly buttress on the use of multiplication and the use of off. Now, there is a case whereby you can handle multiplication before you handle division. Are we together, guys? Are you guys with me? Do you have anybody in this class?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, I think I want to explain the difference between this. There are some cases whereby multiplication is to be done before division. If the examiner wants you to get multiplication done before division, instead of them using the symbol multiplication, they will use the symbol of. When you see the symbol of, it means undo the multiplication before you undo the division. Am I making sense now? And if you see the symbol multiplication, that is these times, what it means is that undo division before you undo multiplication. Am I making sense now? Okay, let's see how we can simplify without changing order of arrangement. So simplification without changing order of arrangement. So let's see how that can be done. Okay. Alright, fine. So when they say simplification without changing order of arrangement, this is applied when expressions are combined by addition and subtraction only, or multiplication and division. So if you have that a given operation or expression rather is combined with either multiplication, addition, or subtraction only, you don't need to rearrange. You can take the order the way it follows. For example, if I have A plus B minus C, with this, there's no point in you rearranging it. You can just go directly by saying A plus B, or you say B minus C, then you what? Add A to your answer. For example, let's say 5 plus 2 Okay, let me say 5 plus 3 minus 1. You can do this by saying that 5 plus 3, that is 8, minus 1. Or you say 5 plus 3 minus 1, that is 2. Your result is going to be the same thing. So there's no point in you rearranging. You still have the same result, either you follow board math or not. Okay, if you also have something like a times b, let's say a times b multiplied by, plus a times b plus c. This is the same thing as saying what? AB plus C, or you say A multiplied by A plus C. You are going to have the same result. Let's see, if I have 2 times 3 plus 4, I can say 2 times 3, that is 6, plus 4, that will give us 10. Or I can decide to say that 2 times, what's it called? 2 times 3 plus 4, that will be 2 plus 4, that's 7. Right? 7 multiplied by 2, that's 14. So this is not going to work here. Are we together now? So with this, that's need for us to apply board mathematics. Though we don't need to rearrange, so we deal with the multiplication first, then we add what? The 4 to it. Alright? So what we say in essence, simplification by introduction of brackets. When you introduce brackets, then you need to follow board mathematics strictly. For example, if I have a plus b multiplied by c minus d, this is the same thing as saying a plus b into brackets a plus b times c minus d. Are you together now? So you are introducing board mathematics to this. A standalone, then we deal with the multiplication first. So when you deal with the multiplication, then add the two together, then you deal with what? The subtraction. So the other aspect of simplification or algebraic process is the aspect of factors. So let's look into factors. Alright, factors now. So when we talk about factors, at first we need to look at what we call factor of a number. Factor of a number. So when we say factor of a number, what do we mean? What is it that we are implying? Factor of a number simply means possible multiples that can be combined to produce a given number. Factor of a number is the possible multiples that can be combined to produce a given number. For example, what are the factors of 12? That is 2, and then 2, and then 3. So factors of 12 include what? 2, 2, 3. Do you understand this now? These are factors of 12 because if I combine everything here together, my result is going to be 12. I believe you understand what we call factor now. Okay? So let's see perfect square. When I say perfect square, what is it that they meant by saying perfect square? Perfect square simply means factors that can be expressed as even power. Factors that can be expressed as even power, they are referred to as perfect square. For example, if I have 12, this is the same thing as saying 2 times 2 times 3. These are factors of 12, right? So which I can rewrite as 2 square multiplied by 3 raised to power 1. So since 2 can be written as what? Even power, then I will say 2 is a perfect square as it has even power. Then 3 is not a perfect square as it has odd power. Do you understand that now? Okay, so if I have, let's say for instance that you have, okay, let's say if I have square, like I have 2 square multiplied by 3 square. So having this is what? This is a square. Are you getting this now? or you call it a perfect square. So if you look at this now, 12 is not going to be a perfect square because all its factors cannot be written in power of even number. Do you understand that now? So that's why 12 can't be a perfect square. Am I making sense now? Alright? So when you say a number is a perfect square, so if I have this will be 4 times 9, that will be 36. So when you see factors of 36, that's 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. So this can be written as 2 square multiplied by 3 square. So since all of the factor can be written as a power of 2, that means that number is a perfect square. Alright, so since we understand what we call perfect square, what again do we need to understand what we refer to as prime factors? So when we talk about prime factors, we are talking about factors that are divisible only by 1 and themselves. Prime factors, factors that are divisible by what? 1 and themselves. For example, we have 2, we have 3, we have 5, we have 7, we have 11, and so on like that. So if somebody say find the prime factor of 20, they are asking you to look for the factors of 20, that is numbers that will combine together to give you 20. And those numbers, they must be a prime number. That's what prime factors of 20 simply means. So, and that includes what? 2, 2, and 5. So 2 is a prime number, 2 is a prime number, and 5 is also what? A prime number. So 2, 2, 5 give us the prime factor of 20. As if you combine them together, you are going to have 20. Alright? So this is how to find factors of a number. So what about factors of numbers that include a variable? How do you find that? Okay, so let's see how we can find that of numbers that involves a variable. And when I say variable, what is it that they are talking about? Variable simply means unknown. So when you have a number that contains what? Unknown, you are talking about what? A variable. Okay, so I'm trying to clean this. All right, so let's take for instance that I want to look for factor of expressions involving variable. How do you look for that? When somebody asks you to find what? Factor of a particular number. So we look at the first one, factorization of linear expression. Factorization of linear expression. So if I give you something like 3x minus 6, so what you need to do is to look for what number can divide this particular 3 here and what number can divide this particular 6. If there is a number that can divide 3 and that same number can divide what? 6, bring out that number. That's a factor. So like now 3x minus 6, 3 can divide 3 and 3 can divide 6. So I'm going to have what? 3 here into brackets. 3x, if I have 3x divided by 3, my result is going to remain what? X. So I'm going to put the x here. Then the sign that I have here is what? Minus. And I will say 6 divided by 3, that will give me 2. So I'll put down the 2 here. So, and I have been able to factorize 3x minus 6. Are you guys following?
Yes.
And I hope when I ask if you are following, I hope you are getting the explanation right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Though it's a basic mathematics, but it's very important you understand it. All right. So what next? How do you factorize? Um, how do you factorize a difference between two squares. So for example, let's say I give you x squared minus 4 squared. How do you factorize this? So this can be written, okay, sorry, I want to say x minus 4. So if I give you something like this, x minus 4, I can rewrite this as x squared, because we really don't know what is common here, because x cannot divide 4. Are you getting this now? And we can say 4 also can divide what? X. So what you need to do here, since this one is a perfect square, this one is also a perfect square, you rewrite them as x squared minus 2 squared. So you having x squared minus 2 squared, this make work so easy for you that you can express them as difference of 2 squared. That is x plus 2 and x minus 2. So the minus can come first. That is, you can add this to be x minus 2 and x plus 2. Whichever one is correct. Am I making sense? Or about if I have something like x raised to power 4 minus a to the power of 4. How do I go about this? Since this is even number, this is also even number. All I'm going to do is to rewrite this as x squared all squared minus a squared all squared. And this can now be written as difference of 2 squared. That is x squared minus a squared multiplied by x squared plus a squared. Do you see the way we are able to factorize that? So let me use a number now. Let's say I have 125. Let's say I have 125 square minus 100 square. So how do I go about this? I'll say 125 plus 100 into 125 minus 100. So this will give me 225, if I'm not mistaken, multiplied by 25. And whatever result I have there is going to be my answer. Okay, so that's that about factorization of a linear factor or a difference of 2 squared. Now, which other one do we need to know? We need to know how to factorize a quadratic expression. So, how do we factorize a quadratic expression? That's another thing for us to look at in this class. So, let's look into that. There's one between me looking at how to factorize quadratic expression and me looking at how to handle quadratic equations. So get prepared now, because you are going to start answering questions under this topic now. So without any further ado, let's get started. So when you say factorization of quadratic expression, factorization of quadratic expressions, all you need to do is that understand expression that is a quadratic. If I have ax squared plus bx plus c, this is a quadratic expression. And what it simply means is that it's going to have two factors. Are you getting this now? Two factors that when you add them together, are you getting this now? When you add them together, your result is going to be bx. And when you multiply them together, your result is going to be acx squared. Or to make it simple for you to comprehend, I can just say when you add them together, your result is going to be b. And when you multiply them together, your result is going to be ac. Either of the two is correct. Okay, now let's take for instance, if I have a question like x squared plus 6x plus 9. How can I factorize this? I have to think of two numbers that when I add them together, my result is going to be what? B. And when I multiply them together, my result is going to be AC. What is AC in this case? Our B is equal to 6. But if you compare this with this, our B is equals to 6. A multiplied by C, that means coefficient of x squared multiplied by this constant. Coefficient of x squared here is 1. 1 multiplied by 9, that is 9. That means AC is equal to 9. So if AC equal to 9 and B equal to 6, that means our first factor is going to be 3 and our second factor would also be what? 3. For that reason, F1 plus F2, that will give us 6. That will be 3 plus 3. And also F1 times F2, that will be 3 times 3, and that will be 9. So you can see that the sum gave us B and the product gave us AC. So how do you now use this in factorizing? Rewrite this original question, x squared plus 6x plus 9, and that will equal to x squared. So instead of what? The 6x, replace it with what? With the two factors, that is 3x and 3x, then plus 9 equals 0. Sorry, I thought I'm doing quadratic equation. Sorry, it's not equals to 0. Wow, so go back to this now. So if you look at these two first two now, what is common there is x. Factorize x out, then you are left with x plus 3. What is common between these two also is what? 3. Then you have x plus 3. You see what you have inside this bracket, once it is the same, then the factorization of x squared plus 6x plus 9 is going to become x plus 3, x plus 3. That is what is outside the bracket and what is inside the bracket, and that makes you factorize it easily. For that reason, you can write this as x squared plus 6x plus 9 equal x plus 3 all square. I hope you understand this. Okay, if we understand that, let's take another one more so that we can be sure of what we are doing. Okay. Okay, so let's see another question here, and that's question number 2. We have x squared plus 2x minus 8. How do we factorize this? We are looking for two factors such that when we multiply them together, our result is going to be AC. And when we add them together, our result is going to be B. So what is AC in this case? Our B is plus 2 and AC is negative 8. So we think two numbers that when we add them together, our result is going to be 2. So we can say F1 is 4 and F2 is minus 2. 4 minus 2 will give us 2. We are done with that. Let's check if F1 and F2 will give us minus 8. That is 4 times minus 2. That's minus 8. Awesome. So it means our factors are 4 and minus 2. So I will write this as x squared plus 2x minus 8. This is equal to x squared minus 2x plus 4x minus 8 equals 0. Sorry, y equals 0 all the time. It's not quadratic equation, sorry. So x is common here, factorize it out. Then you have what? X minus 2. 4 is common here, factorize it out. Then you have what? X minus 2 again. What is inside the bracket must be the same thing at all time. So you are left with x plus 4 multiplied by x minus 2. So this is going to be the complete factorization of x squared plus 2x minus 8. Do you understand that now? Class, do you understand that?
Sir.
Okay, let's try this one whereby when the coefficient of x squared is not 1. Let's try 2x squared minus x minus 6. How do we factorize this? Just say your b, your b is minus 1 and your AC is going to be 2 times minus 6, and that will give us minus 12. So what will be the factors? F1 should be minus 4 and F3 should be that's 3. Then F1, F2, that will be minus 3 times minus 4 times 3, that will give us minus 12, and that works. So we have that 2x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 2x squared minus 4x, then plus 3x, then minus 6. So what is common here is 2x. Factorize it out. You are left with x minus 2. What is common here is 3. Factorize it out. You are left with x minus 2. So here we have 2x plus 3 to multiply what? X minus 2. So this will be the factor of this particular expression. Okay, I hope we understand this. So the last but not the least of this aspect is going to be the aspect of LCM and HCF. The aspect of LCM and HCF. Alright, so let's look into that right now. Okay, so when you say LCM and HCF, LCM simply means arrangement of different factors in two or more numbers with preference to the most occurring ones. For example, if I have the LCM of 2 and 3, so what's the LCM of 2 and 3? That will be 2 multiplied by 3. Okay, let me take it like this so that you can understand very well. I think that definition I give now is kind of not really clear. Okay, take down. When you say LCM of a number, of two numbers, LCM of number is what? A number that can be divided by any of the number. For example, if I say the LCM of 2 and 3 is a number that 2 can divide, 3 can also divide it. A number that 2 can divide and 3 can also divide it. So we have 12. 12 can be the LCM. 6 can be the LCM. What again? 24 can be the LCM. But what are you going to use to choose? You choose the one that is small among them. 2 can go in 12, 3 can go in 12, 2 can go in 6, 3 can go in 6, 2 can go in 24, 3 can go in 24. Choose the smallest one among them. That is what we call LCM. Am I clear? Alright? So HCF means arrangement of common factors in two or more numbers. So if I have 2 and 3, so HCF of if somebody say what is the HCF of 2 times 2 and 2 times 3, so which one is the most common one? That is 2. That will be the what? HCF, highest common factor. Alright, so that's that about that for LCM and HCF. So let's take some questions on them. Okay, 1986 question number 4. 1986 question number 4. The question says find the reciprocal of 2 over 3 divided by 1 over 2 plus 1 over 3. Option A, we have 4 over 5. Option B, we have 5 over 4. Option C, we have 2 over 5. Option D, we have 6 over 7. Okay guys, so what will be the right answer to that question?
5 over 4.
5 over 4. Okay class, do you agree with that? others, do you agree? Is it 5 over 4?
Yes.
Okay, so the correct answer is 5 over 4. Is there anyone who doesn't know how we get 5 over 4 so that we can look into that? No one. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so the next one, 1981, question number 43. The question states that the difference between 4 whole number 5 over 7 and 2 whole number 1 over 4 is greater than the sum of 1 over 14 and 1 whole number 1 over 2 by A 23 all over 28, B 24 all over 28, C 50 all over 56, D 27 all over 28, and E 48 all over 56. So what will be the right answer, guys? So what's your answer, please?
So we are on it.
All right, I'm waiting. Thank you.
Learn the letters U and W. This is how you write the letter U multiple times. So there's your U. Stretch it a little bit farther. There's another U.
Okay, so what's your answer? I'm waiting.
D. 27 over 28.
27 all over 28, option D. Okay, do we all agree with her? Class, do we agree with her?
I don't know the answer, so I'd like you to explain, please.
All right. Okay, so let's quickly look into that together then, since some of us find it difficult to tackle. Okay, it's very simple. And that's why we are here together. So let's see. If you look at the question says the difference between 4 whole number 5 over 7 and 2 whole number 1 over 2 is greater than the sum of 1 over 14 and 1 whole number 1 over 2 by what? What do you mean? This is what we are this is what the question simply means. Find the difference between 4 whole number 5 all over 7 minus 2 whole number 1 over 4. So the first thing to do to this is that you convert it to improper fraction. So how do you convert it to improper fraction? This is mixed fraction. So we say 4 times 7, that's 28. Abi? 28 plus 5, that will give us 33. And that will be 33 over 7. Minus 2 times 4, that's 8. Plus 1, that is 9. So you have what? 9 all over 4. So if I have this now, 33 over 7 minus 9 over 4. So I have to find their LCM. So what is the LCM of 7 and 4? That's 28. That is 7 times 4, that's 28, right? So 28 divided by 7. 28 divided by 7 is going to give us what? That's 4, right? 4 times 33, that will give us 132 minus 28 divided by 4, that's 7. 7 times 9, 63. So you have 132 minus 63, that will give us 69. Am I right? 69 over 28. Please check all my multiplication and addition if it is correct. Then the sum of 1 over 14 and 1 whole number 1 over 2. So convert this mixed fraction to improper fraction as well. So you have 1 over 14 plus 1 times 2, that's 2. Plus 1, that's 3. So you have 3 over 2. Therefore, the LCM of 14 and 2 is going to be 28. 28 divided by 4, that is 2, right? 2 times 1, 2. Plus 28 divided by 2, that's 14. 14 times 3 will give us what?
42. 42.
Hello, are you there? Or better
Yes, sir.
still,
42.
instead of me using 28, well, let's leave it as 28. I can use 14. But the reason I'm using 28 here is because of this one that is 28, so that it will make my work easier. Alright, so what is for the answer?
42.
46, right?
42.
42.
Okay, 42. And that will give us 42 plus 2, that's 44 all over 28. Am I making sense now? So the question now says, we go back to the question again, since we have gotten the difference, we have gotten the sum. The question now says that the difference between 4 whole number 5 over 7 and 2 whole number 1 over 4 is greater than the sum of 1 over 14 and 1 whole number 1 over 2 by. So for us to know what the difference, well, for us to know the answer to this question, how greater they are. Remember when we start the class, I said when a number A is greater than B, by what? By C. Definitely, A minus B will give us what? C. So for us to know how greater 6 over 9 over 28 is to 44 over 28, so we say 69 over 28 minus 44 over 28. That will give us the LCM is 28, so we have 69 minus 44. 69 minus 44 will give us what?
25.
Eh?
25.
25 over 28, isn't it? Now, this is how crazy JAMB can be. 25 over 28 is not part of the option, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes.
Does that mean you are wrong? No. Find the equivalent fraction in the option. Are you getting it now? So what is the equivalent fraction of 25 over 28? For me to get it, let me just multiply both numerator and denominator by 2. And this will give me what? 50 divided by 56. And my answer is going to be C. Do you understand that now?
Yes.
So JAMB is trying to test two things in one question. They are trying to test if you understand the concept of equivalent fraction or not. And at the same time, they want to know if you can interpret the word problem. So it's as simple as that. Okay, so let's look at the next question. I think the next question is similar to the one that we just finished now. So this one is 1978, question number 2. 1978 question number 2. The question states that the sum, I hope you understand the first one, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Alright, okay. The question says the sum of 3 whole number, 7 over 8, and 1 whole number, 1 over 3 is less than the difference between is less than the difference between 3 over 8 and 1 whole number 2 over 3 by A 3 whole number 2 over 3, B 5 whole number 1 over 4, C 1 whole number 1 over 2, D 0, E 8 whole number 1 over 8. So which one is going to be the right answer there, guys? So work it out. I'm waiting. So what's our results? Are we done? Are we all solving? It's a 1 minute question, remember. The sum of 3 whole number 7 over 8 and 1 whole number 1 over 3 is less than the difference between 3 over 8 and 1 whole number 2 over 3 by just mind your decision. Whatever answer you get is what you should follow, and that's why you have to trust your process. JAMB can be crazy as anything at times. All right, so are we making progress?
Sad. Jeez.
This lesson, you will learn two new strokes. The short loop stroke and the long loop stroke. It's time to do it. You simply lay down. Bring up to the dotted line and make sure the bottom is touching. Not
Hmm.
a solid line. I'll make the tall loop stroke. Pull it all the way to the top. Make sure you're keeping it nice and loopy. Pretty delicate. Now print out the worksheet and practice writing these strokes until they flow nicely and become smooth to write.
What's the answer?
A, 3 o number 2 over 3.
3 o number 2 over 3.
In this lesson,
All right, it's an answer.
stroke into the letter
So let's wait for others if they have the same thing as what you have.
making a short loop stroke and just repeat it. The only thing that you want to make sure is the leaning of it and end it with a tail. Wait, do it L. Stroke as usual. Pull it up to the middle dotted line and then make a little link. And we're going to keep going forward. Do another loop. Pull it up. Link. Pull it up. Up to the middle line. Link. The loop. Up. Link. Here's how to make an individual B. So you make a long loop stroke. Pull it up to middle line and create that link. That's the letter B. Again. Long loop stroke. Pull it up to middle line and the little curve.
Any other response aside from our own?
Now print out the worksheet and practice these letters until they flow nicely and become easy to write.
My answer is C. 1 o
C.
number 1 over 2.
1 o number 1 over 2. Okay, so that means we are bound to solve this question together now since we are having different answers. Okay, now let's look at it together so that we can both point out who is right and who is wrong. Alright, so the first thing you have to do is that the sum of 3 o number 7 over 8 and 1 o number 1 over 3 is less than the difference between 3 over 8 and 1 o number 2 over 3. So let's find the sum first. So that is 3 o number 7 over 8 plus 1 o number 1 over 3. So this will become, um, convert this one to improper fraction. So, okay, so give me some minutes. Let me put on the, let me plug my system. The battery is low. Hold on, please. Mm, mm. Leave that label. Alright guys, so can we go on? Hello, are you guys there?
Yes,
Okay, sorry please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's convert this one out to improper fraction. So we have 3 times 8, 24, and 24 plus 7, that's 31. So we have 31 over 8 plus 1 times 3, 4 plus 1, that's 5 over 3. And this will give us the LCM of 8 and 3 is going to be 24, right?
Yes, sir.
So the LCM is 24. Then 24 divided by 8, that's 3, right? So 3 times 31, that's 93, plus 24 divided by 3, that's 8. 8 times 5, that's 40. So we have am I right with this 40? 8 times 5 is 40, right? Okay, that's correct. Um
It's supposed to be 4/3.
okay, it's supposed to be 4 over 3. Thank you.
Yes.
So that means this one is going to be 8 times 4, that's 32. So we have 93 plus 32, that will give us 125 divided by 24. So we have that to be the sum. Then the difference. So we look for the difference between 3 over 8 and 2 over 3. So that will give us 3 over 8 minus 2 over 3. So am I right with this? Okay, no. Why number 2 over 3? So that will be 1 times 3, 3 plus that's 5 over 3. So we have 3 minus 5 over 3. That will give us the LCM is 24. Then that will be 9 minus 40. And that will give us minus 31 all over 24. So the question now states that what? The sum of 3 whole number 7 over 8 and 1 whole number 1 over 3 is less than, since we are told that it is this sum, that is by adding these two together, we are told that it is less than this result that we get here. Are you getting it now? So if that is what they told us, that means 125 all over what is it called? That means our result is going to be minus 31 all over 24 minus 1 over 25 divided by 24. Is that not?
Yes, sir.
So that's what we're going to have, right?
Yes, sir.
So the LCM is 24. Then we have minus 31 minus 125. And that will give us minus 156 over 24. And that will result to negative 26 over 4. So negative 26 over 4 is the same thing as saying negative 13 over 2, which is the same thing as saying negative 6, one whole number. So negative 6 whole number, 1 over 2. That was supposed to be the right answer to the question. So if you look at the options that we have here, then we conclude that all of the option is correct. Is that taken now?
Yes.
So none of the option is correct. I hope you understand the solution.
Yes, sir.
Alright?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's look at another question here. So this other question states that 1989, question number 2, the question says evaluate 27000 That's 50. Okay, that's 2,700,000 multiplied by 0.03 divided by divided by 18,000. So option A, we have 4.5 times 10 to the power of 0. Option B, 4.5 times 10 raised to the power 1. Option C, 4.5 times 10 raised to the power 2. Option D, 4.5 times 10 raised to the power 3. So, what's our results, guys? You said the answer is what?
4.5 times 10 raised to the power 1.
What's our answer?
B.
I can't hear you. I'm not hearing you.
Sky A.
A. Okay, it's an answer. Let's wait for others.
4.5 times 10 raised to power 0.
Okay,
That's
that's
option
option
A.
A. So let's wait for others.
Sir, no other.
You said what?
We are two.
We are just two here.
Oh, so that means the answer is correct. So let's go to the next question. Okay, so the next question states that simplify simplify one whole number 1 over 2 divided by 2 divided by 1 over 4 of 32. 1 over 4 of 32. Option A, this is 1988 question number 1. 1988 question number 1. So option A, you have 3 all over 256. Option B, 3 over 32. Option C, you have 6. Option D, you have 85. So what's the right answer? What's the answer?
The answer I got is not yes, sir.
The answer is
The answer I got is not in the option.
okay. You don't have the answer in the option.
You said what,
Wow.
sir?
You said the answer is not part of the option, right?
Yes, sir.
3/32.
Okay. So is that the same thing with the other person?
No, sir. 3/32.
Okay. So let's solve it together since we are having different opinion. Now, if you have this kind of a question, there's no point in you thinking of board math. Why? Because it only involves multiplication and division. So if I were you, what I'm going to do in order to make this simple for me is that I'll treat the denominator separately. So treat the denominator. So the denominator is 2 divided by 1 over 4 of 32, which is something I'm saying 2 divided by 1 over 4 multiplied by 32, and that will give us 2 divided by 8. Abi? Because 4 here 1, 4 here is 8. Abi? So that will be 2 divided by 8. So if the denominator is 2 divided by 8, which is the same thing as saying 1 over 4, then the entire question is going to be one whole number 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 4, which is the same thing as saying 1 times 2, that's 2, plus 1, that's 3. So you have 3 over 2 divided by 1 over 4. You can say far, far, near, near. That will become 3 times 4 divided by 2 times 1, and that will give us 12 over 2, and that will be 6. So the correct answer is C. So if you understand what I did here by saying far, far, near, near, you have 3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2 divided by 1 over 4. This is the same thing as saying 3 over 2 times 4 over 1. Are you seeing this now? So 2 here 1, 2 here is what? 2. 3 times 2 is what? 6. So the correct answer is what? 6. I hope it's clear.
Divided by
Yes,
4
sir.
over 1.
Alright.
So,
So let's see another question here. Okay, let's see another question. Yeah, there are a lot of questions under this, so we might not be able to treat all. So what I'm just going to do for me is that we have just 2 minutes left, and this might be our last question. All you're just going to do for me is that make sure you try as much as you can to attempt all questions that we have on the Lamlad mathematics that has to do with this. The Lamlad mathematics is already in the class, so you can download it and attempt all questions under this. So you can see that as simple as it might look, it's still what? It's still tricky. So let's use the final question that takes us to this place. Let's use this to answer our last question. So the question says that 3 over 4 of 7 over 9 divided by 9 whole number 1 over 2. So what will be your answer? So what's the answer, guys? So what's your answer?
One.
1/25, sir.
1/25. Okay, it's an answer.
Sir, please start with the answer I'm getting is not there.
What is it of?
The answer I'm getting is not in the option.
The answer is what?
Sir, it's not there. The one I'm getting is not there.
Okay, like the answer is not there. Okay, let's look at it together if the answer is there or not. Oops, where's my pen? Okay, so we have that the question is 3/4 of 3/4 of what?
Oh, 7/9
3/4 of 7/9.
divided by 9/1/2.
Okay, so this is the same thing as saying 3/4 of 7/9 multiplied by, this is going to give us 18. 18 plus 1, that's 19. So we have 19/2. So this is going to be the same thing as 2/19. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 2 here 1, 2 here is 2. And 2 here 1, 2 here is 2. Okay, 3 here 1, 3 here is 3. Okay, so we have 7 all over 6 times 19. 6 times 19 give us what? 144, right? So we
114.
have, is that what?
114.
114, right?
Yes.
So this is what to be the right answer. 7 all over 114. So how do you get 1/25? Is she in class with us? How do you get 1/25? I can't hear you. Or maybe there's a mix up in the question. There might be a typing error there, but that's the correct answer. 7 all over 114. So I don't know how you come about 125, 1/25. So if you can let us know, maybe we can troubleshoot it. Alright, in the half sense of no question, I leave you in the hand of practice. So please make sure you do a lot of practice. It will go a long way. Alright guys, so see you in the next class.